But to get into the tech field, you only need 9 months. To get into the hair industry, if you want to be a barber, if you want to be, a hairstylist, you go to trade school. If you want to be a welder, go to a welding school. When you really know what you want to do, 4-year university doesn't make you. You make yourself.
Hey man, you a fool for this one?
While we're building these businesses and building these dreams and manifesting all our desires, stress and anxiety is a part of that.
So what exactly is the definition of love?
I've been an adult since I was 16.
I definitely feel like I've transitioned into a better place mentally.
And another part of self-care, self-pleasure, orgasms, they're healing. So
Absolutely.
That part is important.
What's happening? No capping. We with AO, about to get a plate bowl. Pull up to the table. Let's go.
I was on the phone with my cousin the other day and she said, "Ayo." I was like, "Yo, what's up, cuz?" And she said, "Can you do me a favor?" And I was like, "What's that?" She said, "Can you do a video that talks to us?" I was like, "What do you mean us? I'm talking to us every single day." And she said, "No, can you do a video that talks to people who desire to be wealthy, but they work at a particular place and they only make $30,000, $40,000 a year? The max in their career field will be about $45,000, $50,000 a year." I was like, "Because you can still become a millionaire." She's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yo, listen, most people think that you gotta make 6 figures or $1 million a year to become a millionaire. Well, here's the truth. A lot of people who make $1 million a year are not millionaires, but people who make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, $45,000 a year actually become millionaires. Because here's the thing, and even my friends over at Ramsey Solutions did a huge study, man, that was the best study in the world because they studied self-made millionaires and realized that these millionaires do not have a huge salary and they didn't inherit the money. What did they do? They were school teachers and they actually steward their money well. That's it. They're making $40,000, $45,000 a year, and they're stewarding their money well. So on today's show, we're going to talk about what are the top things, the things that you need to be doing if you're not making 6 figures a year. What things you need to put into place that is really going to help you get to the wealth that you desire. Okay, and I want to say this before we get into a little quick commercial break. Here is. Remember, wealth is not about solely your income. Wealth is about the gap between what you need to live and the income that you have, right? So it's like if you're making $5,000 a month, but you only need $2,500 to live off of, that means you have a margin of $2,500 to invest, to save, and to secure into your future, right? And so today we're going to talk about what are the things that people are doing who are making these are school teachers. These are accountants that Ramsey study found out. What are they doing that's allowing them to build wealth over the long run? But before we get into these principles that I really want to just really spend some time with and talk to you all about this today, a couple of things. Number one, I need you to hit that thumbs up. Man, we are growing. We are growing fast. We are about to hit, 400,000 followers just on YouTube, about to hit over 600,000 downloads a month on the podcast. Man, we are growing tremendously fast. And I'll be honest with you all, my goal this year is to hit 500,000 on YouTube alone. I want us to be at 500,000 family members who are really passionate, check this out, about making debt-free, living a debt-free life sexy. Like, my focus is to help us maximize the season that we're in, right? And I want to make being debt-free sexy. You can be debt-free and drive the car you want. You can be debt-free, live in the house you want. You can be debt-free and have the Gucci backpack. You can be debt-free and have everything that you desire. And that's what our family is. We are becoming the new wave of sexiness. Debt-free and sexy. And so I want you to hit that subscribe button, share these videos with your friends, share them with your family members, and hit that thumbs up. And the number 2, recently I partnered with my friends BetterHelp, right? And when I started really seeing my therapist, man, I worked real hard. I'm gonna be real with you. I worked real hard. When I was emotionally down, when I was a little depressed, when I was sad, I actually covered that up with working hard. And as I was working hard, I began to just burn out. And when I started sitting down with my therapist, she said, hey, you need to take some time away. And when she said that, I'll never forget, man, I took 2 weeks. I took the whole month off of December from social media. Then I took about 2.5 weeks off of work and just really disconnected because I was burnt out. I was saying yes to everyone else, but saying no to myself. I was saying yes to my family. I was saying yes to my career. I was saying yes to my friends. I was saying yes to people. And can I be honest with you all? I was saying yes to you. I was saying yes to my tribe, to my family, but I wasn't saying yes to me. And I burnt out. You see, life can be overwhelming and many people are burnt out without even knowing it, okay? You know, these symptoms can include lack of motivation, fatigue, stress, and we associate burnout with work, but that's not the only cause of it, you guys. Any of our roles in life can lead to us feeling burnt out. And BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. I want you to prioritize yourself. And when I did that, when I prioritized my mind, my peace, and just my time, man, I was a better communicator. I became a better friend. I became a better lover when I was, dating someone. I became just a better individual. And now I take off the whole month of July, and I take off half of December, and I just unplug and I just really do things to serve me. And I learned that in therapy. And there's a lot of things that you can learn in therapy as well. And so I want to encourage you to go to anthonyoneal.com/BetterHelp. We're going to put their link in today's show notes. But sit down with a therapist. And my family is getting actually about 10 to 15% off this month, just because you're part of my family. And I want you to start prioritizing yourself. I want your yeses to others to become very expensive. And your no's are cheap. Say no quick, but if they get a yes from you, it's because you said yes to yourself first. But we got to step back and really understand, what does that look like? So I'm encouraging everyone for the rest of this year, therapy. Even if you think everything's all right, can I be real with you? Everything could be all right, but it could be better. And I'm a better man today. I'm going to be a better husband because I am seeking therapy twice a month. But, it's on y'all. But let's get to today's show. Here's number one. If you are in a place to where, I make less than $75,000 a year, but I still desire to be wealthy. Here's the very first thing, and you guys know this, man. I'm preaching this like crazy. I'm going to be preaching this like crazy because I really do believe that being debt-free is sexy as heck. Okay, it brings freedom. And here's one thing that study that Ramsey and them put out is these people were actually paying off their debt and didn't borrow any more money. Okay, so if they were making, I'm about to unbutton this and it's too tight. They were like, if they were making $45,000, $50,000 a year, the number one thing was they didn't want to have any bondage. They didn't want to be in beautiful bondage. They didn't want to be into debt. They didn't want to pay somebody else actual fees to benefit their family, but then robbing from their own family. All right. So I really want you to understand this. You do not have to believe the lie that you need OPM to make more money. You don't need it. You don't need other people's money to actually make money. 90% of the millionaires that Ramsey studied have never taken out a business loan. There's so many different things that you can do, right? To start a business. The number one rising small type of business are content creators. It's people like us. You have people making 6 figures a year just from doing this, all the way up to millions of dollars a year just from solely sharing their life story, giving their non-professional opinion, while I am in the money game, I am not a licensed accountant. I am not a licensed financial advisor. I point you to those people. But because I spent so many years in this world, and 7 of those with, Dave Ramsey himself, I've had the opportunity to learn. But even Dave would say, go seek professional advice from a licensed financial advisor, right? And so I give my thoughts, my opinions, the things that I study because I care about you, and because I study, and because I deliver content, and because I built an amazing family like you all, I've been able to make money. But you didn't have to go out there and borrow a whole bunch of money to do it. 90% of millionaires have never taken out a business loan. Check this out. 73% of millionaires have never carried a credit card balance in their lives. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Some of them do have, American Expresses, but they don't carry a balance. I am not a fan of credit cards, but let me tell you right now, I have friends who have the the city banks and stuff like that. And here's the truth. They believe in everything that I teach, but they just say, hey, if I put it on my card today, I'm gonna pay it off tomorrow. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, 95 to 98% of you all do not even think about touching their credit card, because respectfully, you're not mature enough, financially mature enough to have a credit card. Bottom line. I think close to 98, I'll even stretch it. I say 98. 98% of the people in the world today are not financially mature. I'm not calling you an immature person. What I'm saying is you're not financially mature to have a credit card. One of my mentors has a credit card, and he was like, yo, I pay it off every single time. He has an Amex. I'm like, okay, cool, great. That's a charge card. So you got to pay that thing off. You can't carry a balance, and I'm like, okay, cool, great. But for you all, no. 70% of millionaires have never carried a balance. That's amazing. Now, we're not saying they never carried a credit card. We're just saying that they never carried an actual balance. All right. And so I just want to encourage you all that you can build wealth and you do not need debt to do it. And here's one of them that I really want to encourage you, right, is when you're paying off debt as you're going into college, because some of you all watching me right now are still in that college season. Some of you want to go back to school and get your master's degree. Some of y'all want to go back to school and get your further along your education. And that's fine. I'm cool with that. But I want to tell you something that I just don't like. And I just don't like student loans. I am doing a show with a student loan expert, someone who is in this space much, much deeper than I am. I wrote the book on how to go to school without racking up any debt, based upon, my study and Ramsey Solution studies at that time. But I'm actually going to be sitting down with a student loan expert who also agrees that one, Biden is not going to cancel student loans, and we should not be waiting on student loans. And 2, what are the best things that we should be doing right now when it comes to our student loans? And so she even agrees that you should not be waiting and you should not be taking out money. You should be really reading my book, Debt Free Degree, and getting your kids into school without any debt. We have to start educating our kids that the school does not make them, they make the actual school. We got to start telling our kids that, yo, if Harvard, Yale, Princeton, if an Ivy League school reaches out to you, cool, great. But are they giving you a scholarship? If not, we're not going to pay $400,000 for you to go to school and have that student loan debt. No. When you can get the exact same degree here locally in state. One of the things I do believe that all community colleges in every single state should be 100% free. And then if you desire to go on to a 4-year university, you should be able to pay for it cash. And if you do take out student loans, watch this, there should be a cap from the government on how much you should be able to take out. It shouldn't be free for all. No, there should be a cap on the government. Like, hey, you only can take out $10,000 a year. If you go to a 4-year school, you do the first 2 years of community college. You took out $20,000 in student loans. Cool, great. You should maybe get a job making $55,000 to $60,000 a year. Cool, great. Boom. Boom. What? Pay it off. And if you're watching this right now, you're taking out student loans, your number one priority when you graduate college is to get them daggone student loans paid for. Is to get completely out of debt. But you know what? There are other options, you guys, for going to school. And can I keep it real with you? I think the best option right now is community college, trade schools, and tech schools. Bottom line. Community college, trade schools, and tech. Right now, the tech industry are making millionaires. And when I say millionaires, they're not paying them $1 million a year. What are they doing? They're paying them anywhere between $65,000 to $100,000 plus a year. My cousin and my producer's daughter are going to go into the program because check this out. Bethel Tech is now enrolling high school students with a 3.0 grade point average or higher. They got to take a test to make sure that they can comprehend with the courses that they're going to learn. But can you think, I want you to think about this. This is not even in my notes today, but I'm just flowing. The tech industry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Metaverse, this whole Web3, architect, the tech space, man, they are below on jobs. They are hiring people left and right. Only 3% of the tech employees look like me. Only 3% in the tech world are African American. I'm not hating on my white brothers and sisters because we need you all. We're able to watch this because of what my brothers and sisters are doing in our white world. Love it, but I would love to see more African Americans in there, and especially more African American ladies, our queens in the tech field. And so if you're thinking about taking out student loans because you want to go be a school teacher, or you want to go in this particular field, and you're saying, you know what, but I don't want to spend $100,000, $200,000 on a degree. Well, listen, Bethel Tech is only like $13,500 with my discount if you're in my family. It's only a 9-month program. They're going to cash flow that for you. And let's say if you do need a little bit of help, they got programs where they can actually help you, right? But you spend 9 months focused, determined, learning. When you graduate, you spent $13,500, but when you graduate, you're going to be making $65,000 a year. I've interviewed several people on my show, and they went off to making $65,000 when they started to now making over 6 figures as a single mother. 22, 23 years old, making $100,000 in tech. Can you imagine what your high school student can do right now? Are you watching this right now? Are you in it saying, you know what, I need to check out this program for myself? And 2, do you have a son or daughter that's a rising senior? My cousin is a rising senior this year. She has the first semester, she's going to be doing her thing. Then the next semester, she's going to be inside of tech. When she graduates, when she walks, she's going to have her tech degree and she's going to be making $55,000 to $60,000 a year as a 19-year-old person. If you want to learn more information about this amazing, amazing school, it's Bethel Tech. Go to anthonyoneal.com/Bethel. That is anthonyoneal.com/Bethel. Check them out because I'm telling you right now, they're going to bless you, because we got to start avoiding student loans, and we got to start teaching our younger people different routes and different things to do. I'm not knocking our 4-year universities. If you want to be a doctor, you have to go there. If you want to be a lawyer, you better go there. I don't want you going on shortcut route. I don't want you going on no YouTube. No, go get the education that is needed to be successful. But to get into the tech field, you only need 9 months. To get into the hair industry, if you want to be a barber, if you want to be, a hairstylist, you go to trade school. If you want to be a welder, go to a welding school. When you really know what you want to do, 4-year university doesn't make you. You make yourself. I didn't finish my degree. And I'm still out here winning. What? Stay away from student loans. Millionaires stayed away from student loans. Here's number 2. You gotta save money, okay? I don't know, some people said you can't save your way to wealth. I wanna tell them fools, shut the heck up. Because that's true. You cannot save your way to wealth, because it's not wise to have $1 million just sitting in your savings account unless your lifestyle And that's 3 to 6 months of your expenses, right? But here's the thing. Here's why I say millionaires saved money. Okay, because 70% of millionaires said it saved at least 10% of their income throughout their working lives. Why are they saving 10% of their income? Because they're preparing themselves for when an emergency comes. They're preparing themselves for when they actually want to buy something. And the problem that I see with people who say you can't save your way to wealth, you shouldn't save that much money. Those are the same people who, when life hits them, they have no money in their savings account and they go right back to being in debt. They go right back to living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because they made all this money and didn't save. No, a savings account prevents you from going back into debt. You worked your behind off to get out of debt. And if you're in debt right now, you're going to work your behind to get out of debt. And if you're in debt right now, you want to be a millionaire, I'm going to drop Ramsey Solutions, Financial Peace University. Technically, it's Ramsey Plus. I still think it's Ramsey Plus. I haven't been there in about a year, but I'm going to drop the link to their course, Financial Peace University, their membership. You're going to sign up. And I know you get like 15 or 30 days free, and you need to go in there and watch all the videos from my friends. They're going to walk you through the step on how to get out of debt, right? So when you get out of debt, one of the key ways to make sure that you get to that millionaire status is to make sure that you have at least 3 to 6 months of your lifestyle. Okay. I'm saying lifestyle now. Can I be real with you? Because I don't want you to save just for your expenses. If life happens, I want you to have at least 3 to 6 months. If you're single, I want you to get 6 months of your lifestyle in a savings account. When I say savings account, I'm talking about it's in a different account. It is either in a different account that you have a debit card to that you can get to instantly, or it could be in your bank account. But I want to say get more interest if it's going to be sitting there. And where I park my money at, this is a good show today. I park my money at Prize Pool. They give me 0.30% of my interest rate. They give me rewards for just letting my money sit there. So every single week, they're going to give me some tickets and raffle tickets because I got a lot in my savings account, right? I got a full 6 months. And I stretched myself to about a year. I put a year of my lifestyle into the account. And so I would encourage you to do the exact same thing, right? And so I will go to Anthony ONeal AnthonyONeal.com/savings. That is AnthonyONeal.com/savings. They're going to get a high interest rate. You're going to get some extra money for letting it just sit there. It is FDIC insured, and you will get a debit card to access that savings account in case of an emergency, or in case, let's say, you're using that savings account to save up for your home, to save up for a large purchase. But here's how it does help you become wealthy. Because when life hits, when life happens, you will have to go to a savings account. And what you do is now you're not going back into debt. You're using the money. That emergency now turns into an inconvenience. It's going to suck, but it doesn't hurt you to the point to where now you're going backwards. You can still progress forward. You may pause at where you're at right now, but it doesn't force you to go backwards. Okay. So you have to do that. Anthony, where do I start? I mean, I'm only making $38,000 a year right now. I got you. You're going to put $1,000 in an emergency fund. And honestly, I would probably do a little bit more right now with, with this recession possibly coming up, it's not going to be the same as what like 2008 was, you guys. I mean, and the majority of y'all young enough to where you don't even remember what 2008 was. But I mean, if you want to go up to 2,000, 2,500, cool. If you have a starting emergency fund and you're in debt. If you're still in debt, I will put no more than $2,500 in that savings account. Give you a little bit of cushion. Go ahead and have, your mortgage and your rent payment in there. Have your mandatory, 1 month of like expenses for the majority of y'all. That should be about $2,500, but no less than $1,000, right? But you don't want no more than that because you want to make sure you have enough money all going towards your actual debt, right? So you don't want to have $10,000 sitting in your savings account and you're paying interest on $6,000 worth of debt. No. You do want to have a cushion to where you can feel comfortable. If life was to happen, you can make some adjustments. But I don't want you to be too comfortable because then you won't aggressively attack your debt. So once you put that $1,000 inside your prize pool account, Again, anthonyoneal.com/savings. They have some crazy reward stuff over there for you, so go check them out today. After you pay off your debt, then you're going to save about 3 to 6 months of your lifestyle. And here's the difference between your expenses and lifestyle, right? Expenses is what you need to survive. That needs to be your bare minimum, okay? Bare minimum 3 to 6 months of expenses. For me, I want to see my people do 3 to 6 months of their lifestyle. This means if you get your hair done, lifestyle. This means that if you like golfing and you have a golf membership, lifestyle, right? If you like going out to eat, if you're single, you like dating, lifestyle. Now watch this. Let's say if you get to that point and life is really looking bad. Let's say 3 to 6 months of expenses may be $10,000. 3 to 6 months of your lifestyle may be $15,000. Well, you can choose then now if you have lifestyle. Now you can go, let's say that's 3 months, right? Expenses is $10,000, 3 months is expenses of lifestyle. Now, if this is 10, this is 15, let's say life hits you hard, you can turn this into just expenses. Now you went from 3 months to probably now about 4 months. Or if you know you can get another job and you're a good candidate to get that, your lifestyle doesn't have to change. You can still enjoy your life. I remember growing up, my dad, he never did it. He'll probably be upset if I said it, but it is what it is. He always told me, man, you need to have six months to a year, 6 months to a year of your earnings in a savings account. And, I was like, okay. And so I stretched myself to do that only because I'm also running a business, right? And so there will be your high months and your low months. And I want to make sure that I'm good. So that way the business has low months. I don't have to get paid from the business. I can still take care of my team, right? So I'm thinking on a different level. But for you, millionaires are setting aside money to really think about, right? What the future will hold when emergencies come. I want to ask you this question. I want you to drop it in the comments below. Or if you're listening to this on the podcast, hey, jump over to YouTube and let me know in the comments. How much do you have saved right now? You see, the average person in America doesn't even have $1,000 in a savings account. $1,000. 40% of people in America can't even handle a $400 emergency. Cash. Cash, guys. Cash. They can't do it. And I get it, man. It's hard. Let's be real. It's hard. Those of you watching this right now, you're not making $55,000 a year. You're I think the McKinsey study said that, 38%. Yep, 38% of white people will make less than $38,000. 43% of black people will make less than $38,000 this year. And I know you're watching this saying, "Ayo, I'm that person. I make $35,000. My cousin, she makes 38, and she's my age, and she has 2 beautiful daughters who I love. I love them like they're my daughters, because that cousin of mine is my favorite cousin. We've been through a lot together, and she's like a sister, a sister to me. And when she asked me that question, she's like, her friends listen to me all the time. And it's like, can Anthony just do a video and help us who do not? We work great jobs, but we live in a small city, and they don't need $60,000 to live a nice lifestyle. They can make $40,000 and still be a homeowner in that particular city. And it's in the city that I, grew up in part of my life. And they're right. $40,000, $45,000 there is actually pretty good money in that particular city. They can live. They could buy them a nice starter home. Mortgage payment be about $800 a month, But I tell everyone, I get it. We're transitioning out of COVID. We're about to hit, this rising recession. And it's like, what do we do? And the key thing is I'm telling people right now is save. Save money. Save money. And then once you get through, getting out of debt and saving money, here's the secret. Now, it's not really the secret. Here's the key. Here's the money move. Here's the strategy. Here is the system that plays. You see, wealthy people don't get wealthy because they have secrets. Wealthy people do not get wealthy because they have connections. No, wealthy people get wealthy because they have systems that they put into place that over a long period of time, if they follow and stick to the system, they now become wealthy. Okay. And one of the key things when it comes to what's inside of the system is you got to contribute to your retirement fund. You got to max out all of your retirement fund. And some of you all watching me right now, you only give about 1% to your retirement fund. And that's probably because you have a whole bunch of debt and you don't have no savings. So you got to go through the first two things. You got to get inside of Ramsey Plus and take Financial Peace University and get out of debt. You got to set aside at least 3 to 6 months of your expenses, minimum to 3 to 6 months of your lifestyle. And then you really do got to contribute to all your retirement accounts. This is where I say, I don't care how much money you make, you sit down with a financial advisor. You sit down with an advisor and you tell them, I want to win. They're going to assess your portfolio as far as in your income. They're going to look at your debt. They're going to tell you, here are the strategies. And don't let any financial advisor tell you, hey, do not worry about paying off the debt. Start saving. No. Start investing. No. Pay off your debt, then start investing. All right. 79% of millionaires reach millionaire status with their employee-sponsored retirement plans. I'm going to say it one more time. 79% of millionaires, per the Ramsey Solutions study that they did, which was absolutely amazing, right? They learned that 79% of their millionaires actually was maxing out their 401ks. They were maxing out their retirement plan on their jobs. They got out of debt and they maximized. And there's three kind of things that you could do when it comes to your 401ks, all right? You're going to look for the match. You're going to look for a Roth. You're going to look for a traditional, okay? And this is a 401k. You always want to go with the match. If it's a match traditional, go with that. If it's a match Roth, go with that. If they do not have a match and they only have a traditional or a Roth, you go with the Roth, because Roth simply means that you've already paid taxes, so your income grows without taxes, okay? I would even say that you have to maximize all of your opportunities. Once you are out of debt, you want to maximize those opportunities. If you are healthy, I even want you to sit down with your financial advisor and ask them about an HSA account. Okay, it's your health savings account, because you can invest into that as well. When I was working at Ramsey and even at my other jobs, I was maxing out on that. And I even learned a lot. Like a lot of people, I'm teaching good today. A lot of people, right, when they look at their health savings account, like if you're in your 20s and 30s, let me give you a little key nugget that I applied. And it's been absolutely amazing. I'm gonna be honest with you all, I actually learned this at Ramsey. I honestly did learn this at Ramsey because I was talking to Dave and he gave me this tip, and then I sat down and talked to the HR, and they really taught me this because, in the African-American culture, this is what we teach, get the PPO plan. Spend $300-$400 every paycheck, right? So you can have the most health insurance possible. But if you're spending, let me look at the math here. If you're spending, right? Let's say you're spending, let's just say it's $350, times that by 2 a month. That's 700, times that by 12. You're spending $8,400 on health insurance. And if you're in your 20s and 30s and you're just healthy, right, watching this show, why are you spending $8,400 a month on health insurance? When what I learned was, instead of doing a PPO, because that's what my mama said. My mama said, get the PPO. You got the best coverage. But I never went to the doctor like that. And I gave away $8,400 of my money and I wasn't utilizing it. So there's like, yo, get on a high deductible plan, okay, attached to a health savings account. And that plan honestly only cost me like $40. My deductible for the year was, I spent $40 a month, $40 a paycheck. It was like $80 to $100 a month, somewhere around it, right? So that's about $1,200 a year I'm paying for health insurance. But my deductible was $4,000. So this means that I had to spend all the way up to $4,000 before they actually covered it. Well, check this out. I got savings. I got emergency fund, right? So it saved me money. I think I maybe had to go to the ER one good time throughout those 6-7 years that I was on that plan. And I did the math. I saved myself over those years close to $25,000. I have my yearly checkup. I get it right around my birthday as a man. Make sure you know I'm good. I did get my prostate cancer check. I paid for that out of pocket. That was the most uncomfortable feeling ever as a man. I went to my dentist. I had to get like a root canal or something like that a couple of times. But watch this out. See, this is why I'm teaching what I'm teaching. Watch this. I had my emergency fund, but I never had to really go inside of it because I lived below my means. And so I was able to actually maneuver things on my budget to actually pay for the bills. But check this out. I maxed out my health savings account. And that was actually tax-free. And I can go use that money at my dentist, at my doctor. Boom. And I can also invest some of that money. So what I'm telling you is there are ways that you can invest wisely with not having a whole lot of money. You can maximize your 401ks. You can maximize your health savings account, which is going to be attached to a high deductible plan, right? You can maximize on a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA with the financial institution. You can, max on your mutual funds. If you're self-employed, you can get a 401k. But you got to sit down with a financial advisor to walk you through step by step for your particular situation. Mine is just general advice on what I'm doing, what's working for me. But again, you need to go talk to a financial advisor so they can see your stuff. And watch this, not even just with that. Oh my goodness, boy, I'm teaching good today. Because listen, some of you all are claiming too little on your taxes. And so you're giving the IRS your money and you're getting excited for a return. And let me tell you what the mindset that I do not like about, middle class individuals. Here's one thing I don't like. Well, that's my way of saving money. What? That's foolishness. So you're giving the money to the IRS and they're giving you back less than what you deserve with no interest. No. So what I would advise you to do is to sit down with a tax professional, not someone who just does your taxes. No. Go and pay someone $50 to assess your tax situation. Look at your portfolio and say, you know what, you should be claiming this amount. This way you will break even at the end of the year. And you can keep all of your money now. You can put it inside of your prize pool account, or you can put it towards your debt, or you can put it towards saving towards a mortgage, and you get a little bit of interest. You see, wealthy people think differently. Wealthy people, it's not about the money. I'm telling y'all, it's about what are you doing mentally that can turn your $45,000, $50,000 into $1 million when you retire. What are you doing? What is the mindset that you're putting into place? What are the systems that you're putting into place? Okay, you make $45,000. You make $40,000 a year right now. Okay, cool, great. Get out of debt. Cool, great. Get a savings account. Do not touch that money for anything unless it's an emergency. Start maximizing on your retirement plans. I was sitting down with a school teacher and she was doing this, right? She was investing 15% of her income into a retirement portfolio plan, right? She sat down with a financial advisor and she was investing 15%. I think she started off making right around $42,000 and then she ended up getting up to about $64,000 throughout her career as a school teacher. Never did anything else. She didn't have a part-time job. She didn't do nothing else. But she was a school teacher for about, I want to say about like 34 years. She started at like 22 and then she was done at about like 60 something. She retired with $1.3 million in her account. $1.3 million. Let me say it one more time. She was making $40,068, I'm gonna say right around there. And she retired with $1.something million in her account because she follows Dave Ramsey. I met her about 2 years ago. It was absolutely amazing, right? And she says now when she retired making $68,000 a year, but because the way she set it up, she's gonna live off of, watch this, the interest of her 1.2, right? 1.2. I'm gonna say this one more time. I'm gonna do the math because I wanna make sure y'all understand what I'm saying. So she has 1.2 in her retirement portfolio, right? Times that by 10% that she can draw out just from interest. I just want y'all to do the math with me. She went from making $68,000 a year to making $120,000 a year. She got a pay raise to retire. She's not touching the principal of her 1.2, she's only touching the interest that the principal is making. $120,000 a year. She doubled her income just solely from following the system, sticking to the system, living below her means. Now she's in her 60s and she's making more money sitting at home, being with her grandchildren than she was going into these schools and dealing with these crazy behind kids. Because she was listening and applying the system. She's a millionaire. She can go in there and touch that principal. She can go in there and take that money out and pay off her house and everything. She didn't pay off her house. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. She said she's going to pass that down to her kids. She said her goal is to pass down the house and to pass down $1 million to her kids when she passes. And I'm like, wow. So if you're out of debt and you have an emergency fund saved, okay, you need to put away at least 15% of your paycheck, okay? You got to make it automatic, you guys. I don't want you thinking about it. I don't want you stressing about it. I don't even want you contemplating about it. No, put it into a retirement fund. When choosing retirement account, remember, always, the best route to go is Roth because Roth beats traditional all day long. Stick with it, all right? Stick with it. We got 4 more things, man. This is really good. But before we get to these 4th questions, somebody sent me a question. I really want to give it to them. And man, if you're liking today's show, man, hit the thumbs up button, you guys. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button. You know, and let me know you're liking it. Let me know in the comments below what you're feeling, what you're liking about today's show. But listen, if you want your question to appear on the show, or if you want to come on to the show and you want to ask a question that's about your life, if there's anything around money, around relationships, around personal development, send them in. You can email me at thetable@anthonyoneal.com. That is thetable@anthonyoneal.com. Email your questions. But this question comes from Grace Ma Fours, at Grace Ma Fours. She said, should a 34-year-old woman date a man that has over $150,000 in debt and he doesn't budget at all? One more time. Should a 34-year-old woman date a man that has over $150,000 in debt and he doesn't have a budget? Well, Grace, let me ask this question. I want y'all to drop your answer below. Let me know. Would you, if you are 34-year-old, would you date a man who has over $150,000 in debt and he doesn't even have a budget? Here's my thought. The $150 in debt, $150,000 in debt doesn't bother me. The not having a budget somewhat bothers me. And here's why that somewhat bothers me more than the actual debt, because now we're talking about mindset. I think oftentimes what we tend to do is we tend to put the focus on the amount of money. No, I would date a woman, I would marry a woman today if she has $300,000 in debt. But I want to know, what is her mindset? Well, what is she doing? Is she comfortable with that $300,000 in debt? Is she already attacking that $300,000 in debt? Does she have a plan on how she is attacking it? Not a plan on a man attacking it with her. No. What is your game plan on attacking the debt? So that way, when we do come together, if we do get married, now we can attack this thing together because you already had a plan. And so for a man who has $150,000 in debt and he doesn't have a vision to attack that debt, I would tell you, not that he's not a good man, but he may not be the man for you right now. And what I would encourage you to do is if you, Grace, are in conversations with this guy, if you are talking to this guy, if you are sitting here and y'all going out on dates, right? I would ask him, what's the vision that you have for this? I mean, $150,000 in debt is a lot of money. Let's keep it a buck. That could be all student loans. Okay, cool, great. What's your vision? How do you plan on getting out of it? The number doesn't scare me. I want to know what's up here. I want you to know what's up here. What's his game plan? Because a man without a vision, that means he's just aiming at anything and y'all can go anywhere. So take away the money part, right? Does he even have a vision, period, for life? Where there is no vision, that's where people perish. Where there is no vision, that's where the relationship perish. Where there is no vision, that's why he broke. Where there is no vision, that's why we have problems. So a man without a vision, how can you go under a man who doesn't have a mission? And he doesn't know where he's going. I would not get inside a submarine, sub underneath water, go underneath water, and we do not know where we're going. We could be going into danger. We could be going into war and we don't even know it. No. So again, should a 34-year-old woman date a man that has $150,000 in debt? Period. Sure. Part 2, but he doesn't have a budget. Take away the budget. He doesn't have a vision. The vision part is where I would say no. I'm not saying forget about him. I'm not saying cancel him. Here's what I am saying. No. When he gets that vision, be friends with him. And when you see that vision is coming, Grace, rock with him. Yo, let me know in the show notes if you all agree. Like, what would you do? Would you do that? Would you rock with a man or a woman who doesn't have a vision for their life and for their money? I can't, because for me, our visions have to align. Let's finish up these last three or four points, okay? If you are making less than $75,000 and you want to become wealthy, right? Pay off your home, okay? The study found out that most millionaires paid off their home. My friends at His and Her Money paid off their home about 4 years ago. And man, it just feels good. I'm sure it feels good to walk into a home and it's yours. You have no mortgage payment. I'm sure it feels good to wake up one day and you absolutely have no mortgage payment. So home ownership is one of the pillars of wealth building in America. Being a home owner is actually one of the best ways to close the wealth gap between Black and white people. 67% of millionaires live in a paid off home. And most did it within 11 years. They got aggressive. They attacked that mortgage. They stuck to the system. Okay. But if you do it wrong, AKA buying a home that you really can't afford, more house than you can afford, it can burden you. So when you're ready to buy a home, watch this. Make sure that you are consumer debt as much as possible. Consumer debt free as much as possible. You have a fully funded emergency fund. Be saving for your retirement. Make sure that your mortgage payment is less than 25 to 30% of your take home pay. Okay. And then once you get into it, yo, start throwing money on top of that. I'm going to do a video solely on how to start paying off your home mortgages or early. And I promise you, you'll love it. Because I'm actually in the process of doing that. You know, I'm paying off. My goal is to have this home paid off within like 2 to 3 years, and I'm gonna keep it. I probably won't be living in DMV forever, but I love this home, and I'll probably rent it out to like some execs. But I want it to be paid for. I want to own it, and I want to be able to pass this down to my kids one day. All right. Here's numbers 2. Here's number 6. Set financial goals and achieve them. And really, when I say financial goals, I really want you to set financial growth goals, because 92% of millionaires say that they set long-term growth goals for their money, compared to 60% of the general population, and 97% say they almost always achieve them. So what is a vision? My friend David Imonti is going to be actually, I think he's going to be on, when is he going to be on the show? Yeah. He'll be on the show on this Wednesday. He'll actually be on the show this week, right? And he said something that was absolutely amazing, right? I wrote down that I want my company to make 6 figures a month, bare minimum, right? We're doing that very well. Then he said, Anthony, when is the last time you made $1 million 1 month? I said, I never have. He said, when didn't you write it down? I said, I never have. He said, well, man, I've had $1 million days. I was like, really? He said, yeah. This Wednesday, you're going to meet a guy that makes $1 million minimum a month. I think his worst case scenario was like $750,000 in a month. But he says, man, I make $1 million a month. And he said, hey, but I wrote down one day that I want to make $1 million in a day. And he said, man, throughout the year, I had several of those days. I was like, what? My friend Terry Gioma, she has $1 million days. I was like, man. And the difference between them and myself, or watch this, the difference between them and us is that when's the last time you wrote down, I want to make $100,000 a year? When's the last time you wrote down on your notepad that I will be making $80,000 a year? I will be making $5,000 a month. I will be making $5,000 a week. I will be making $5,000 in a day. So I wrote it down. I said, my company will make $1 million in 1 month within the next 24 months, 12 to 24 months. I'm speaking it into the atmosphere. I'm believing it into the atmosphere. My friend Mignon, she says, speak what you seek until you see what you spoke. And so I'm speaking it, and I'm speaking it over your life right now. You may be making $2,000 a month. I'm speaking it, you're going to see $5,000 a month within the next 12 months. You already may be making $5,000 a month. I'm speaking that you're going to be making $150,000 or $200,000 a year. You may already be making 6 figures watching this, but I'm speaking that you're going to make $1 million in the next 12 to 24 months. But I can speak it for you, but you got to speak it. So if you're watching this live right now on YouTube, or if you're listening to this on a podcast, I want you to speak it out loud. Say it with me. I will be making, and fill in the blank. We got to start somewhere. We got to set some goals. You can't be making $35,000 a year saying you're going to make $1 million. No, we got to set realistic goals. That's going to stretch us. That's going to make us work. But we know we can get there with the systems and with God. I believe that if we pray like it all depends on him, and we bust our butts like it all depends on us, it's bound to happen. But when you become wealthy, when you get that money, here is the best way, right? The best way to keep it. Be generous. God blesses you with more, give more. God surrounds you with more wisdom and more knowledge, give out more wisdom and knowledge. Be intentional with your money. Be intentional with the wisdom and knowledge that you have. Give, and you shall receive more. You got to set some financial goals. You got to set them. Take some time, get off of the phone, get off of Clubhouse, get off of TikTok, stop trying to dance, get off of Instagram. And what I want you to do is get inside your notepad, get inside your journal, whatever it is. I want you to write down, hey, by the end of this year, I am going to work my job and maybe start a small business on the side. I am going to get into the whole YouTube space. I'm going to generate this, and I'm going to be making X amount of dollars a month. And if you're the individual, you're saying, Anthony, I really want to do what I'm doing. You want to get on YouTube. You want to get on podcasts. You want to start blogging more. I can show you how to make 6 figures. I can show you the system. Let me be real with you. I can teach you the system on how you can make 6 figures a month with your brand, right? I'm not giving you a bunch of these other stuff that people are giving. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I'm gonna tell you how me and my team are doing it. I'm gonna bring in my producer, CJ. He'll tell you how many times he and I done argued, how many times I had to submit to him. I'm gonna bring in my people. We're gonna give you the system. If you really wanna learn how you can make 6 figures with your brand and how that can eventually turn into 6 figures a month, I want you to text the word 6 brand, 6, BRAND, to 615-930-3431. Text the word 6, the number 6, brand, BRAND, to 615-930-3431. And we'll make sure we'll have that on the screen and in today's show notes. But I'm going to be teaching people how you can do it. I'm going to help you hit your goal if you really want to be your goal. The fastest small type of business, right? The fastest growing small type of business are content creators, AKA influencers. Influencers who have something to teach. They're impacting lives, changing lives. I'm going to teach you how to build a system. If you put this system in place, I have 6 C's that I'm teaching. The last C is currency, but there's 6 C's before that I do that really has nothing to do with currency. But because I've learned and I've applied those 6 C's, that system, it brings me currency. It brings my company currency. And let me say this too. Just because a company makes 7 figures doesn't mean the owner, I, makes 7 figures, because I have a team. I have expenses, right? But it feels good to be able to build such a great company to where I can employ Black people and we can impact lives. And if you want to be a part of that, text the word 6 brand to 615-930-3431. Here's the last one. You got to develop the right character. You got to think like a millionaire, right? Millionaires are disciplined and consistent, okay? They can delay gratifications. They pay themselves and consistently save and invest in the right places, all right? They never stop learning. I've really become a nerd. I'm reading more. I'm listening to podcasts more. And y'all, I'll be honest with you, I don't like reading, but I've become, I love it now because of the wisdom and knowledge that I'm getting. I'm listening to other people's podcasts and I'm saying, okay, this is how they move and this is how they're maneuvering. Boom, I love it. And one thing I also learned with millionaires that I'm learning, right, is patience. Lasting wealth is not built overnight. Fast money is not long money. Fast money comes in fast and it leaves fast. And here's the last thing that I really want to say about millionaires is they believe that they can be a millionaire. They believe it. Do you believe you can be wealthy? Do you believe in yourself? You got to believe in you. And when you believe in yourself, that's when you see you moving differently. That's when you see your mind is thinking differently. So anyone can become a millionaire, whether you're making $38,000 a year or $38,000 a month. It's not about the income. Yes, income is important. And yes, if you're making $38,000 a year, you should consider getting a part-time job. You should consider going to Bethel Tech to get your education so you can start making $65,000. But let's say you're a school teacher and you're only making $45,000, but you really love it. You can still become, and you will become a millionaire if you listen to the things that I'm teaching. Okay? But you have to be disciplined. You got to get out of debt, save money, invest 15%, pay off your home, live below your means, set financial growth goals and achieve them and go after them. And you got to develop the millionaire mindset. Because scripture tells us in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 11, dishonest money dwindles away. But whoever gathers money little by little by little makes it grow. So you have little coming in, but you're living below that little and you're saving that the rest of the little. You're investing the rest of the little. And because of that, it grows with compound interest with God's favor. And you'll see that you may be making $38,000 a year today, but because you're being a good steward of the $38,000, watch God give you to $50,000 next month. And then because you're being a good steward over that, watch God elevate you to $60,000. You see, the number one secret, this ain't a secret, the number one tool to growing your income is stewardship, is obedience. If you can be wise with what you have today, God will put you into rooms. God will miraculously give you the favor that you need to get that job promotion, to get that business launched. And watch how just in 2 years of life just changed because you were obedient and you were a good steward. So here's today's affirmation. I will attain all the riches that I desire with time. You will attain all the riches that you desire. You just got to live below your means. And I want to encourage you, if you really want to grow your brand, if you want to do what I do, work from home, travel the world, impact lives, and you want to make 6 figures doing it, join me. This fall, I'm going to be opening up a weekend. You're going to be able to spend 1 weekend with me. It's only going to be 100 people max. It's a little trial thing that we're going to be doing. It's going to cost you some money because I'm going to show you how to make 6 figures doing what I'm doing. So you're going to have to make an investment. So this is not going to be for everyone. But if you really want to make 6 figures a year to 6 figures a month doing this, I'm going to give you the system to do it. Text the word 6brand to 615-930-3431. I appreciate you. I love you. And I'm going to see you in the next show. Peace out. Was that long?